From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
If I know in the exit, if I bet, if you got and you've got does exist, if I bet, if you got and you've got does exist, she's barely feeding, but she'll deny. We burn the leg, she passes by until she surrenders in the midst of the street, and the guys simply stare but continue to eat. It doesn't matter, does it?
It's Friday, July 13th, 2018. Ooh, Friday the 13th. And it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios, welcome back, Andre Henry.
Yo.
Over there on the ones and twos, our illustrious producer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
And all the way from Nashville, Tennessee,
all the way,
author, speaker, podcaster, Annie F. Downs.
Good morning, gents. Happy Friday the 13th.
That's spooky. So I'm assuming
So
weird things are going to happen on the show today.
Have we had one already this year? I feel like we have.
I
in
think
April.
we have, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made it.
We did.
And it went fine. As far as I remember, everything went fine.
Yeah,
It was way less spooky than I
April.
expected.
Okay, I did get cursed one Friday in April. It's making sense now. I got it. Okay, that's adding up. It's adding up.
Well, we have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, author and speaker Jo Saxton joins us. She has a new book out we talked about.
Y'all, I love her so much. We're already friends with her because if not, you're going to be now. She's so
I
fun.
met
She has
her-
a British accent. That's a good thing to warn people.
She's in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Now she lives in Detroit. I met her when I went to the IF gathering a few years ago.
You mean the day you and I became friends, Cameron?
Yeah, I met
The
Jo the same.
exact day.
It was a dinner. I think it was the same dinner you and I met. There you go.
I'm always impressed by people with a British accent. You know, like whatever they say is very credible. Thankfully, she's coming from like
As
a
though they earned it.
biblical Christian perspective, because anything she tells me, I would believe with that.
You're
it's
gonna
very
be in on.
authoritative
Yeah.
when they.
Yeah.
Who am I to argue with someone with a British accent? You know what I mean?
That is true. I went to Montana a few weeks ago, and about half the guys were from the UK, and they all sounded just so much smarter than us.
So much smarter than us.
Yeah, just more sophisticated.
On one hand, on one side of the spectrum, we had Willie Robertson with his accent. On the other side of the spectrum, we had the British guys with their accent.
Both very
It was just a
respectable.
very multicultural experience for me. Okay, well, actually, unlike Wednesday's show, where we had a lot to catch up on, we are going to just jump right into it. On today's show, we have Slices, we have our Listener of the Week, and Joe's coming up, like I mentioned. So we'll just get right into it. It is time for
Slices.
Jesse, what do you have?
So this week is a big week. This week is the first week that you can actually reserve your spot on a new island that's being created. It's a floating island that's completely man-made, right near like Tahiti.
Is
Seems
it,
like a
is it man-made
stupid
out of
idea.
plastic
Yeah.
straws?
Yeah. all the extra straws that Starbucks will no longer be using will be tied together to create one awesome man-made island. No, it's a man-made island. It's actually being funded partly by the Seasteading Institute. And so have we talked about seasteading before?
No, I don't even know what that is.
No, I don't. Me either.
So seasteading is an idea. It's like the perfect podcast topic especially for us. So seasteading is kind of an idea that was hatched, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, that you could create islands in the middle of the ocean that would be independent of any country. Like there'd be in international waters, and you could create your own laws. You could create your own currency. You could create your own utopia out in the middle of the ocean. Right now, the technology has just got to the place where seasteading can become a reality. So there's other people who have tried to do like seasteading. Like there is like an old.
Are you saying sea setting? What are you saying?
Steading, like homesteading. Like back in the
Thank you.
Wild
Like
West. they would just-
homesteading,
I
seasteading.
see.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
there
Now
have been
I
like
understand.
amateur
Continue.
seasteaders, like some people who have taken over like old abandoned oil rigs and things like that and just claimed it as
my
their own,
gosh.
but they haven't been internationally recognized. But this one that is going to be floating somewhere like in French Polynesia is going to be state of the art, and they've already actually started to sell houses on this island, which is not built yet, but there's plans to have 300 houses on this island, The pictures look incredible. It's going to be state of the art. They're going to have like greenhouses to have like little mini forests in. It's going to be all floating, basically like neighborhoods so you can get around. They're also going to be operating on its own cryptocurrency. So the idea that it's free of any kind of regulation and taxes from any country. And they're going to
set like Lord of the Flies.
But the idea is it's highly organized, right? So it's not like, like Lord of the Flies is like chaos.
Chaotic.
Where this is basically creating a new self-governing, super high-tech country from scratch. So the pre-sale just went up like this month. So for the first time ever, you can actually bid. They didn't release the prices. You have to kind of go through their cryptocurrency whole rigmarole. But you can actually bid to have one of these 300 homes on a seasteading island out in the middle of the ocean that will be free from any laws. Just a libertarian utopia floating out there.
Wow.
I always thought when I was a kid, I don't know if I read dated, I just remember like, there was like the Hardy Boys and there was like Encyclopedia Brown or whatever. I just remember as a kid reading like the future was going to have underwater, like we could live in underwater cities,
very
essentially. True. And I expected that was my dream. I knew I couldn't probably go to space. I was like one of those nerds who like wanted to go to space camp, stuff like that. But I thought, but we at least are going to get to live under the sea.
Yeah.
There was even a ride at Epcot, Living Seas, that was kind of like this future experience of what it would be like to like live in a pod. Maybe this is the beginning of that dream becoming a reality. I know this is floating on the surface, but I mean, if they need to expand, just go down.
What's the hypothetical benefit of under the sea?
I think just research.
Yeah.
I think
everyone is basically is a researcher at that point.
You can observe more. Yeah, you can observe. You can like. I just remember you would like get into the air tank or the air pod, and then it would fill with water. You could just swim out into the water. Yeah, I just remember that was the dream.
Wow, that was the dream.
Windows. Windows.
There's a lot of dreams. There was a lot of technological promises that just weren't kept, and I feel like we need to hold someone responsible. I remember I had a poster in my room growing up of a car lot full of flying cars. And I used to just sit and look at that poster and it was like hand drawn. It was like cartoony, but look how cool the flying cars would be. Like, man, I cannot wait. I will be 16. I was probably like 7. I was like, this is a few years away, people. We're going to have flying cars. We were promised that.
Oh my gosh.
And now like Uber announced they're going to have like flying Ubers or flying taxis and stuff. And then you look at the picture and it's just a helicopter.
Yeah.
Literally, it's a helicopter.
Yeah.
We have that.
I don't mind that just like, zips around like George Jetson,
Yes. Yeah. That's really what set us up, isn't it? The Jetsons. The Jetsons are who set us up for failure of disappointed expectations.
And Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
So cool. Yeah.
I think my Under the Sea thing came from Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Aquaman or whatever, but I just remember there was like whole things under the sea.
Yeah, very true.
Hanna-Barbera. Yeah. They misled us.
What are your feelings on this idea though? Just creating. And the other benefit they said it's not susceptible. It's not susceptible to climate change because it's floating.
Yeah, what is it? Is it made of metal? Is it made of grass? What are they making? What's it made of?
Well, from the surface, it will look like a regular island. Like it will have like grass and sidewalks, like a little neighborhood out in the middle of the ocean. Like just imagine a suburb, like Cameron, like in your city, like a Baldwin Park, like a pre-planned, nice suburban neighborhood.
But
with
if everybody
stores.
Runs to the east side, is it going to tip over?
No.
Two questions. Is it tethered or is it going to just drift?
How does it stay in place?
Like if there's a massive sea storm or something. I think it's going to be anchored there. I don't think they're going to be. It's not like a cruise ship, Is
it then number two? A cruise ship remains balanced and you're less susceptible to the waves because it's moving forward and it's cutting through the waves. This thing is just in there bobbing in the water. Is it like moving nonstop? Or are like sea currents like crashing over the side?
I mean, it looks like they have seawalls to prevent the water from like cresting over. But you got to imagine if you're floating out on a giant island, you're going to feel some movement.
This is the plot of a horror movie.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Have you ever played the video game BioShock? That's kind of like where that takes place.
Surprisingly, no, I haven't played that.
This is like Fortnite. I mean, you have to like, there's an island and then you have to like be the last one standing.
Yeah.
I think that's the rules of homeownership here.
But Cameron, I know we've talked about this numerous times, but this is a chance to really, what was your uncle's,
Oh, King Strang. Yeah.
What was his?
Beaver Island. Beaver Island.
Beaver Island.
I feel like, Cameron, this is in your blood, man. I feel like, starting a utopian island or joining one is kind of in your lineage,
No, I think this is just going to be a disaster.
How do you get to and from it? Is this like a ferry situation? Like, I mean, if it's just the size of a neighborhood, you're going to get stir crazy after a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll have some sort of, like, it looks like they're like a lot of people, if you live there, you'll have like a private boat slip. So a lot of people there are going to be pretty wealthy. So they'll have yachts and stuff. But the interesting thing is, like, if you make it your primary residency for like tax purposes, it's kind of a gray area law wise. And so
because they don't use currency that we use.
Has the UN chimed in at all? I mean, is this going to be recognized?
It's, the U.S. can't really do anything about it because it's not anywhere near us.
Not the U.S., the UN. No, the UN.
Oh, the UN. The UN hasn't said so far. Believe it or not, they've been pretty unfriendly to seasteaders. Like the people that have like claimed old oil rigs and platforms out in the ocean, and they claim there are some people who've claimed that they've taken all the necessary steps to declare sovereignty legally, but the UN refuses to recognize them. I don't think it's going to be tough to see how the UN deals with this, but the Seasteading Institute has like billionaires on their board that are pretty powerful people. So they might have more influence than just some rogue dude out on the middle of a, oil platform from the 70s.
Wow.
Okay. So this isn't like I saw some movie about like there was a pirate radio station that was broadcasting off the coast of London or something.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Pirate radio.
Yeah, pirate radio. I think it was yeah. And so this isn't that. This isn't like the revolution. You can't stop us because we're out in the ocean sort of thing. This is literally like billionaires trying to have offshore places to hide their money or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be high tech luxury. Like, you ever seen the pictures of the island in like Dubai or whatever? It looks like a big palm tree. Imagine that, but they're artificial platforms, not sand ones.
I would just be scared. I mean, like all the time.
I don't like it.
Like the sea doesn't want you there.
No,
because you put one nasty criminal on there, and you've got like a Lifetime movie for real.
You have what you have is a sweet reality show. They tell you when you move out here, hey, I'm just letting you know there's one psychopath murderer among the islanders. We're not
telling you which one.
Yeah. So it's kind of the board game Clue with like
except there's no escape.
A murder
Clue
mystery
meets Life, and they floated on the ocean.
Yeah. Meets The Truman Show.
Right.
Meets Big Brother.
Yeah.
Truman Show.
Yeah. Well, meets no Big Brother. Meets no Big Brother because
meets no Big Brother.
That's their whole thing. They don't want intrusion. They're going to make their own laws out there,
Goodness gracious. All right, what do you have, Annie?
Okay, so speaking of taxis and Uber rides, in Finland, there is a new way to pay for how you travel in Uber, which I appreciate. It is singing. As long as you are singing, you do not have to pay. As soon as you stop singing, the money count starts. And they started this at a music festival that happened a few weekends ago. And it's a promotion by a company called Fordham that's a clean energy company. So all the cars are run on clean energy. So the idea is the loudest thing in the car should be the person singing, not the car itself, right? So there is no engine noise because it's electric, but it's how it works. The drive and it has to be driven by a person. So literally there's some person who has to drive around these cars full of singing people. And the second you stop singing, you have to pay money. But if you'll sing, you get to ride for free, totally for free. Each car has a tablet that has the songs on it that you can pull up and sing. And so at the Music Fest in Finland, they were just driving people back and forth to all the different areas. And as long as you were singing, it was a free ride. Would y'all do that?
Wow.
I'd rather walk than obviously than sing. Like, but I like if I'm a driver, that's the worst
what I'm
thing
saying.
ever.
I feel bad for the drivers.
Right?
You could not pay me enough.
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You're not paying them anything is the real unfortunate part.
Yeah, I like to sing, and I probably wouldn't do it.
I would rather hear a loud diesel engine that needs to be serviced than someone singing. And that's the whole point, is to show how, like,
as a rider,
you're not selling me on electric cars, at least as a rider.
Yeah, would y'all do it as a rider? If they were like, you can either pay $24 to get from here to there, or if you will sing the entire time, it'll be free.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm picking Bohemian Rhapsody and singing it the whole way.
Yeah, I mean, can we do like old school rap? I don't really sing,
Yeah,
but like
That's
I mean,
not singing, Cameron. No,
You just need
have
a
to sing.
long song though. You know what I mean? Like, because as soon as you stop, you're gonna have to pay.
What about the Humpty Dance? The hook, you kind of sing the hook.
No, in my car, you're paying money more than you're singing the Humpty Dance. That is for
All
sure.
right. All right.
I'm going Dolly Parton. Y'all know that. I'm going old school Dolly. I'm doing some Reba. I'm getting where I need to go. It's not going to cost me anything except a little bit of my pride.
The only like public transportation or ride sharing or whatever gimmick I ever want to be involved in is cash cab. That's it. Like if I pull over the cab and they're like, "Hey, this is one of those singing ones," I'm like, "Nah, peace out." So you get out
See,
of
it
the
came
next one.
back.
Don't worry. Cash cab, I'm losing my mind. Like
You see, they brought that back.
They brought back the cash
The
cab?
cash cab.
Oh, I love that
I heard last year they were bringing it back. I was very excited.
I love it. I love when it lights up as soon as they open the door and everybody freaks out when they sit and close it. Oh, it just makes me so happy.
The weirdest
But I
thing for
sing
me,
too.
it was on for years, and the weirdest thing for me is like they almost never have. No, they don't know what it is. They're like, not that they're surprised by it,
people
but
get
like,
in.
there's never been a person who goes, "Oh my goodness, I love this."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they're all like, "What is going on?"
That's
I'm like,
very
"How do you
true.
not know about Cash Cab?"
I don't know about the cash
Right.
cab.
No?
What?
No.
Like this is the first time you're hearing about it?
Yeah.
It's a game show.
Like when we say
that
it, what do you
happens-
think it is, Chandler?
I mean, I've put together that it is a game show that there's a taxi cab, people winning money. I don't know.
yeah, it's basically a game show
Right.
inside a taxi cab, but the gimmick is it's actually driving you to a destination. But like, let's say you say, "Hey, take me to 80th and Broadway," like you're in New York City. If you miss like 3 questions, they just drop you off, like wherever
Like,
you
they
are.
don't take. Yeah, they don't take you all the way.
Which I feel like that's the most hilarious part of the game is like the cab ride ends. You know, you got to get out of the cab. I feel like they need to raise the stakes, and if you get 3 wrong, he turns around and starts driving the opposite direction for like an hour.
they take you further away.
because at that point you're halfway there, probably.
Right,
You just get
right.
another taxi, no big deal. It's just the same. It cost me the same. If you get 3
missed
wrong, all right,
3.
buckle in. We're in for about an hour and a half drive. Hope you went to the bathroom.
Three wrong and they take you to the airport.
I feel like that would make. I feel like
would
that
up
would
the
just
stakes
make it
for
a
sure.
more interesting show. You know.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh
real.
man, I got a meeting I'm late for. Sorry, man. You knew the rules. I didn't. This looked like a normal
You keep
taxi.
getting
Well,
them right.
we're driving. Yeah, it's basically you're getting kidnapped for 2 hours.
That's
Like,
right.
The funniest thing is like they keep with every right answer, you win more money, Chandler. And then when you get to the destination, if you finish them, but you get real cash. But there's always a double or nothing question at the very end. And so like there's a couple's going out for date night or whatever.
People get greedy.
and that's right. And they win
Yeah.
like $300, and then they're going double for nothing. And she's going, "No, this will pay for dinner," and he's going, "No, let's go for it." And then they lose it all,
man.
And then they
and
break
they're
up.
walking to dinner like, and she's like ticked off.
Yeah.
at it.
Ruin the day.
It's great.
It's great.
They should drop them off at JFK. Like no matter what, like if you get 3 wrong, you're going to LaGuardia or JFK.
Yeah, JFK, because it's just so
It's
far.
so far away
Yeah.
from everything.
Well, what if the person like got in and it's like, you know, their destination's pretty far and he's like, "Listen, the fastest way is to get on the interstate. Don't worry, I'm a really good driver. And I can host the show while cooking down the Jersey Turnpike." And you get your third question wrong right in the middle of the interstate. And he's like, "I know, guys, I'm sorry. It's like 2 miles to the exit. It's pretty dangerous out here, but rules are rules. See ya." And you just get dropped off in the turnpike. That's what I want to see.
Yeah,
rules are
this
clearly
show,
stated.
This show only works in New York City, where no matter what block you're on, you're in Manhattan, you're probably
Right.
fine.
You can-
This would not work in like Atlanta, where it's
No.
all interstates and
Right,
spread out
right.
suburban. Yeah, that's
Hey, Cameron, on the reboot of the show, is it the same host? Because I like that bald guy.
I loved him. I don't know. I just heard they were bringing it back. I haven't
yeah.
seen
For
it.
some reason, I don't
I am
think it is.
excited to see
I
the
don't-
new cash cab.
But I want to in one of those cities that like don't have like urban taxis, that the only people who use taxis are old people now who don't use Uber. And like they need a ride to the airport or something, and they call a taxi, you know, and it has to meet them. Not like you hail one and they get in. I want those to be cash cabs.
Where
Like
they're
it's-
stressed out. They got to get to the airport. They have a plane to catch.
Yeah, exactly. They're like 30 minutes away, and it's like, sorry, man, it's cash cab. Hop
Gotta
in.
get
You know, they're like, I didn't have a choice. You pulled up to my house. I ordered this taxi like 2 hours ago. You're here. It's a cash cab, man. It's suburban cash cab.
All right, what do you have, Andre?
Okay, so Remember, what was that, a month ago? IHOP changed its name to IHOB, International House of Burgers.
Well,
Yes.
They have officially admitted that it was a publicity
We
stunt.
called it, Cameron. We
called
knew
it.
it.
Yeah, they
Cameron and I
posted
knew it.
on Facebook for their 60th anniversary
Dummies.
that they are celebrating IHOP. Yes, IHOP. We would never turn our backs on our pancakes except for that one time where we faked it.
they said that.
Yeah, on their Facebook.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't believe them. I think they were trying to make a pivot because like lunch is more profitable than breakfast.
Lunch and dinner. You're trying to get 2 meals more
Yeah.
instead of just 1 meal.
Yeah.
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 I think they were really going for it. It backfired and they just decided to,
We were
gotcha.
just kidding. We were just kidding. Yeah.
Because if this was the plan all along, they would have done this like the day after, not not like a couple weeks when everyone stopped talking about it.
No, me and Annie, we called it.
We called it.
I was like, it would have just cost way too much money to change all those signs.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
let me
Yes,
see a
yes.
sign change, and
Yeah.
then I'll believe y'all.
Yeah, they were just trying to get
Yes.
people in the door to try their burgers.
Yeah.
And it didn't, and according to Fast Company, it didn't really help all that much.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Like sales didn't go up for the burger
They
menu.
did not really.
Well, the other thing too
Really?
is like, do publicity stunts like this, like, yeah, people are talking about IHOP, but how many of us went to IHOP as a result of this? You know what I mean?
Nope.
We didn't even send Daz. We didn't do anything about it.
Same thing for the Wendy's Twitter thing, where it's like I didn't go to Wendy's anymore, with them being funny on Twitter, but it was funny to
Right.
go look at it. you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm going to Wendy's the standard amount of time I go to Wendy's, which is a lot. But the fact that they're burning people on Twitter left and right, I'm not going any more than I already go, which is too
Yeah, you're
often.
not like, I'll go to Wendy's now because I like her.
But
Right.
but you feel a little bit better about going to Wendy's because it's like,
Yeah, I
oh, the
suppose that's
brand's
true.
cool now,
Yeah, yeah.
cooler
Oh,
now.
I see.
At least
If
there's
you're
something
going to either
redeeming
Burger
about
King or
this.
Wendy's,
Yeah.
then you're going to choose Wendy's.
I mean, I'm
it-
going to go to Wendy's now that we're talking about it because I'm so hungry.
If there's a Wendy's next to a Burger King, yeah, I like Wendy's. Yeah, I
No,
like
No, if there's a
them.
Wendy's by a Burger King, I'm for sure doing Burger King because they have Coke Ices.
Well,
Really?
and I like the actual Burger King. Like, he's hilarious.
Oh, that's true.
But here's
Oh my
the
God.
thing. Isn't it sad that now, like, the most redeeming thing about Wendy's is like, well, my justification for going here, the most redeeming thing is the person that's on their Twitter account is really mean. Like, that's the best thing about this brand
That's right.
is they got a mean person on social media. So I'll go get a junior bacon cheeseburger.
What's IHOP say? Like, did it benefit them at all to do IHOP? I mean, it didn't sell burgers. I mean, it made us talk about them for a minute.
The idea was that it would get people through the door to try their burgers, and according to the report from Fast Company, which isn't like super detailed, it was just like it didn't have that much of an impact on their bottom line or on burger sales. or
But
anything
if
like
you
that.
look at brand relevancy and free marketing value and stuff, they got hundreds of millions of dollars of people talking about it,
about
and
IHOP.
media
Yeah, that's probably
coverage
true.
and all that. I mean, we've given them 10 minutes of airtime.
Yeah, but I guess my thing is like I don't know if it translates to anything. Like yeah, people are talking about them, but again, like does that mean anything for the bottom line?
I mean, I gotta be honest with you. Driving down the road, when I see an IHOP sign now, I notice it, and I don't have the same impression of them. I mean, I'm not thinking ooh burgers. I'm just thinking like, look at them being savvy marketers. It gives me a more positive impression of them as a corporation than as just kind of like the afterthought or the leftover Denny's. Like they're not quite as, you know what I mean? Like I used to like, to me they were like, I didn't even notice them.
yeah.
Leftover
Like, how are
Denny's,
they-
that's what you call them? That's such a burn.
Well, just like, how are they? I think before, if anything, I would drive by one going, who goes there? Or
Yeah.
how are they still in business?
Or,
and
or,
now
hey,
I'm
I want to
going,
go
oh, they're
see some
savvy.
really
I get what
sad
you're saying.
people very late at night. I'll just see what's going on. I'll just pop in IHOP. They're all there.
Right.
I get what you're saying. Like now, when I pass by, I don't just think terrible pancakes. I think I wonder what their burgers are like.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying, like they're a company that's like marketing themselves, whereas
Yeah.
that like companies that don't bother are just kind of like they just kind of get worse and worse. If they're spending money on marketing, they're trying to be savvy. You kind of think like, oh, they're investing in stuff. They're investing. They're
yeah.
growing. They're getting better. Maybe I should go check them out. I don't know.
I will say this. I think it's better than the marketing strategy of Waffle House, which has been, I read their marketing budget is $700 million a year, and it's all yellow pages. And they just want to be the first one when you turn to W in the yellow pages, looking up
Really?
waffles.
It's so weird.
Are
You're
you
lying.
serious?
That's not true
Listen,
at
I
all.
love me some Waffle House.
If
I
there
was
was
like, tell me
$700
more,
million
Jesse.
in a Waffle House budget, they would invest in mops first. I mean, they don't
Waffle
have
House
any money.
barely has a budget to keep their signs lit. I've
That's
never
what I'm
seen
saying.
a fully lit Waffle House sign.
No,
like it's
they-
like Scrabble pieces with one letter off. Like every time you go to a Waffle House.
Man, I love that place. That is one of
Do
the
you
best
really?
stops.
I think when Waffle House opens a new store, the sign comes pre-burned out one letter. Like it's just part of the brand. Just kind of
Waffle
run
House
down,
is the only
you know?
restaurant that when it makes the news, it makes the news because like the story was cook was asleep, customer went and cooked their own meal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, like
That's
literally,
right.
like that's what Waffle House is.
Waffle House is a dangerous place to go.
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how Atlanta has like multiple intersections where on
Yeah.
all four corners of the intersection there's a Waffle,
Waffle
House.
House.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's real.
Like, how
Do
does
you-
that stay in business?
because everyone goes. That's where we go on Christmas Eve. Have we talked about this?
No.
That is where our family eats on Christmas Eve.
Really?
Yes. After the Christmas Eve service, we go to Waffle House.
That's very sad, and I think sacrilegious too. The other thing about Waffle House is I think when they open a new one too, they just squirt the whole place inside with syrup, so it's just got that nice sticky home feel right when it opens. You know? I've
You're-
never
you're
picked
doing
up a
wrong
middle
by
at Waffle
Waffle
House and be
House.
like, I gotta rinse my hands off.
It's
This
not.
is
I haven't been to sticky Waffle Houses. I've been to just everything's wet. Like the table's wet,
Yeah.
the floors are wet.
This is a damp place.
Yeah, you know, like
Yes,
nothing's.
that's it. They've just wiped down the table no matter whether someone was sitting there or not. The table is wet when you sit down.
Okay,
Yeah,
you know
it's
the
like
reason I
with
haven't gone
dirty
to Golden
mop water.
Corral in a long time? Because in theory, I should love Golden Corral, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's just,
Good.
you know.
It's on
rules.
brand for you.
It's so on brand. I mean, you get a little bit of everything. You can get as many places as you want. Is the last time I went, it felt like everything was soaking wet, and it felt like the cleaning methodology was someone had a warm old beach towel, and they were just wiping everything down from like the nozzles of like the Coke dispenser to like, oh, we got some spare mac and cheese. They just kind of, it's kind of wet and a little cheesy, so they
warm,
got some of that
wet
in there.
beach towel.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so gross.
Yeah, they give it the old
Yeah.
warm beach towel treatment.
Oh man.
The warm wet beach towel. All right, well that'll do it for Slices. Stay tuned. Up next, Jo Saxton joins us.
I'll be waiting on the warmth each time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth every time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth each time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth every time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth each time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth every time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth each time it comes. I'll be waiting on the warmth. I'll be waiting on.
You're listening to More. The song is Waiting on the Warmth. I think it's here, middle of summer. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Christine and the Queens with the new single, Doesn't Matter. Not to be confused with the song we opened Wednesday's show with, which was Don't Matter to Me by Drake, or Gallant's new single, Doesn't Matter, which is the same name as Christine and the Queen's new single, Doesn't Matter. I think artists are in a funk right now. They're just like listening to each other. Anyway. This week's show is brought to you by Casper, a sleep brand that makes expertly designed products to help you get your best rest one night at a time. You spend about a third of your life sleeping, so you should be comfortable. That's why the experts at Casper work tirelessly to make a quality sleep surface that cradles your natural geometry in all the right places. The original Casper mattress combines multiple supportive memory foams for a quality sleep surface with the right amounts of both sink and bounce. And its breathable design helps you sleep cool and regulates your body temperature throughout the night. I can attest to this because I have a Casper mattress, and it really does keep you cool, unlike some other memory foam mattresses that get a little warm. Casper offers two other mattresses called the Wave and the Essential. The Wave features a patent-pending premium support system to mirror the natural shape of your body, and the Essential has a streamlined design at a price that won't keep you up at night. You can be sure of your purchase with Casper's 100-night risk-free Sleep On It trial. And right now, they're offering Relevant Podcast listeners a special deal. You can get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/RM and using RM at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. That's $50 towards select mattresses by going to casper.com/RM. Jo Saxton is an author, speaker, leadership coach, and church planner. In her latest book, The Dream of You, Let Go of Broken Identities and Live the Life You Were Made For, She examines how to find your purpose and actually live it out. We recently talked with Jo about the book and what we can all do to identify God's plan for our lives. Here is Jo Saxton.
So one of the themes of the book is identity and people trading in their identities. Could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I would say, so for example, I think life happens and relationships happen, people happen to you. And if you find that you're more accepted when you behave a certain way, then we find ourselves pleasing people. And maybe we say yes to things we shouldn't do because it makes us seem more willing at work, even though we know it's exhausting us. Maybe we say yes to relationships that aren't really healthy for us because they seem to want us and we're used to not being wanted. We may numb our voices or be silenced by not even just the popular opinion, the accepted opinion. And so because of that, we may find ourselves having lost our voice, our voice being in some ways the essence of our identity in everyday life and in practice is muted because it's not been accepted. So I think that those would be some of the examples. I think when traumas happen or when the culture of place is more dominant than a way than we're used to or we feel comfortable in, we can find that we become who we have to be for survival's sake.
So would you say that in the example of relationships is kind of finding your way back to essentially just end the relationship, or how does that work?
I think I would talk about finding your way back in terms of uncovering who you fully are, in terms of how did God design you to be. And so, and no longer apologizing for your wiring, no longer apologizing for the things that you bring to the table, no longer allowing ourselves to walk with a limp because of the hurts we picked up along the way. And I guess my contention is that when God designed us, he was pretty pleased with it. And so the things that have affected us sometimes take us away from what we were originally designed to be. And so finding our way back may or may not involve that relationship. I think it's our primary relationship with how God's wired us that I'm mainly talking about at this point.
How can someone recognize what God's dream for them is, or the identity that God gave them, or even that, something might be off with that?
Yeah, I think what I found is often when I've asked someone that question of who were you before life told you who you had to be, people are pretty quick on knowing the answer. Because I think we'd all identify there are moments in our lives and in our story when we felt the pressure, real or perceived, to be something else or be somebody else. I've often found with people when I've asked them that question, because I do a lot of coaching and stuff, that they'll come back to either a moment or a series of moments. It doesn't take that long for us to uncover that. But I'd often ask when we're uncertain, I'd say, where do you feel you're fully yourself, or do you feel you have to be different people depending on your environment? And why would that be? Why do you feel you can say exactly, you can be confident and courageous? Why do you second guess your ideas and your thoughts? Why do you second guess your opinions? And why do you say, I don't know, when you actually know the answer to what's being discussed in the room? Because chances are, if those things are happening, you've put your identity on mute for the sake of what you fear would be on the other side.
What I'm gathering is that the idea is that, these identities that we're given are given to us pretty early on. So how do you know what your real identity that God gave you is? Like, how do you know when you find it?
Yeah, I think first of all, I'd agree with you. I think for a number of us, there are certain things that life happens early. Life happens early. And so I'd love to say, I wish I could say, well, when you reach adulthood, these terrible things are going to happen, or these terrible perceptions in culture about your skin or about your gender are going to happen. But we all know that would be completely and utterly unrealistic. And I think for some of us, it takes a lot. And I think when I'm talking with people about this, because I have met women in particular who were like, I couldn't even know where to begin anymore. And so I often ask them what they were like when they were kids, and the things that they loved, and the music they loved, and the things the moments in their life when they felt the most alive, because they're like signposts. I would ask someone the things that they used to dream of, and the things they would love to be said about them in terms of, if you were at an award ceremony and someone was giving you an award for something, what would they say you've achieved? And what would that say about you? What would you want to be known for? And we do have to work our way backwards from time to time. So that's one part. The other part, I would say, as a believer, would say, are you agreeing with what God says about you? Are you agreeing with what he says about your value, your purpose, about your worth, and about your uniqueness? You know, can you look in the mirror? And I actually often get people to do this. There's a chapter I write in the book where I'm standing in front of the mirror and thanking God for every part of my body, because I had to realign my thinking to not think like Cosmo or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what the magazine was at the time, but I remember having to stand there and say, I thank you, God, for, because people would say, oh, you'd be so pretty if you weren't so black, or you're exotic, or I'm talking church people now. Just before we think the world is terrible, I am talking church. Or I'd love to date you, but I can't because you're black, or whatever. I mean, they were honest, but anyway. And I remember needing to stand in front of the mirror and think, I know my skin is fearfully and wonderfully made, but it doesn't stop it stinging when someone says things, when you realise that people are wrestling with your values before you've opened your mouth. And so I'd stand in front of the mirror and I'd be like, I'd read this thing from Psalm 139, where it says, I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. And I read it over every part of my body and declared it in front of the mirror because I needed to hear what the Bible said about my values. And then after talking about my body, I did it about my mind and my talents, that I'm not too strong, that I'm not too loud. I am loud, granted. That I'm not too much, and I'm not enough. Mm-hmm. And I needed to reckon with that. And it was a real reckoning for me, because some of it was, well, if I want to settle down, do I need to settle down? In my personality, I have no intention of doing anything about the depth of my skin. If that's the problem, then you don't need to come around me. Right. But there was a reckoning I had to do in terms of wrestling and saying, what will I believe? Will I believe what the Bible says about my value, that I'm made in His image, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made, or will I allow the things that have been said explicitly, or the things that have been implied, or the things that have been said indirectly, or the experiences that have left me believing a certain way of thinking about myself shape how I would function from this point on? And it was hard. And so I think the recovery of your identity may take you to a counselor. It may take you a number of places, but it's a journey, and it's one I invite people to make sure they're discovering, because we have the gift of one life. It would be nice to live the one you were wired for rather than the one you felt you had to have to please other people who probably aren't watching you that much anyway.
That was Jo Saxton. Make sure to check out her new book, The Dream of You. It's available now. Stay tuned. Up next, our Listener of the Week. You're listening to Gallant. The song is Doesn't Matter, not to be confused with the song at the beginning of the show, Christine and the Queens. Doesn't matter. Just go to Apple and type in Doesn't Matter. You'll get a bunch of options. Okay, it's time for our Listener of the Week.
You listen to the show and it's time to get to know you. It's the Listener of the Week.
All right, Jesse, we every week, some of our listeners hit up Twitter and tell us 3 facts about themselves to try and catch your eye to become our Listener of the Week. And this week, you picked Zach Summers. Tell us the 3 facts that caught your eye about Zach Summers, and then we'll introduce him.
Okay, Zach once defended himself from a mugging with a Black Forest ham sandwich.
Wow. He was probably at an IHOP.
I'm going to venture to say the guy was allergic to Black Forest ham, and he shook it in his face. Zach, don't tell me yet.
Yeah, I know.
But it's a very common allergy. You'd be shocked. Ask any deli worker. I once was interrogated by the police while wearing a shaving cream beard and hairstyle. Oh. And finally, you were fired from your first job. He was he appears to be some sort of shoplifting Robin Hood, because he stole 16 donuts but offered them to his coworkers. So, again, morally gray.
Welcome to the show, Zach Summers.
Hey, yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Where are you
Hi,
calling us
Zach.
from?
So I'm in Washington State, in Spokane, Washington.
Spokane.
And I'm a writer and graphic designer for Partners International.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Does this very noble nonprofit that you work for, doing great work, know about your donut stealing past?
I didn't quite mention it in the interview, but it's something that I'm quite open with. I've repented, and I believe that the Lord knows my heart.
Wow, this guy's just way nicer of a guy than I thought. I thought we were going to get some rogue scallywag on the line, and this guy's just the kindest man ever.
Hey, yeah, Zach's just getting started. We could still have a
Yeah, I was
scallywag
going to say,
situation.
the type of people I know that steal donuts or have been caught stealing donuts are not the
That's
type that
right.
are going to spread the good news around the world. So good on you, Zach. Something's big going on in your life since this little donut incident. That's clear. That's clear.
All right, Zach, tell us a story about how you once defended yourself from a mugging with a Black Forest ham sandwich.
Oh, I was on my way to New York City. I have a cousin who lives in Brooklyn, and he has an extra room, i.e. a closet with a futon in it.
Yeah, for sure.
And so me and my buddy, who we took a megabus, and on the East Coast, we don't have it here on the West Coast, but megabus, it's a super cheap bus system.
Yeah, it's like $50 to get to New York.
Yeah, 50,
Yeah, it's
50
like, oh, yeah, it
from
was
Florida to
so
New York.
so great.
To go from Orlando to Miami is $1.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can find
Yeah.
dollar rides on
But
Megabus.
the thing is, you have to sing the entire time. It's a long bus ride. You'll get it later. You'll get that one later, Zach. Just trust me.
That was a callback. Yeah.
Yeah. So the tickets were I think we got them on sale too. So it was like $40 for down and back. It was insane. It was so great. But the thing about Megabus is because it's so cheap, they put you in they partner with public transportation bus stops. And so I lived in Ohio. I grew up there. And the bus station that they went with was Cleveland. And so this is downtown Cleveland, which is known just, for being just an upstanding area or not. I remember we got there early. And so the bus was going to leave at 6 a.m. And I was looking on my phone and the bus was running late and I was so hungry. And so I was with my buddy and I told him hey, you watch this stuff. I'm going to run around the corner. Apparently there's a Subway open at 6. And so I'm I'm going to go grab a sandwich for the ride because it's going to be a long bus ride. And so I have a regular white t-shirt on, black athletic pants. And I have one of those super, super cool phone wallets from 2012 that is everything and it folds open. And so I didn't have room in my pants for it. So I was walking with it in my hand. And so I'm walking and I get my sandwich at Subway and I load this thing up. We're talking Black Forest ham, double meat, green peppers. Make sure you toast them on there. I get the onions, extra lettuce, extra cheese. This is a
So you're telling me
small
you told him to run it through the garden, and when you had this was a real sandwich artist making the sandwich. This wasn't just
run
someone
it
slinging
through
deli
the
meat.
garden. Is that what you say?
Yeah, that's the thing.
You say
Yeah,
that
hey,
at
run that
Subway?
run it through the garden. They know. If you have a certified sandwich artist, the problem is they're letting a lot of people work at Subway and not get certified. If you have a certified sandwich artist,
So is
they're
this
supposed to know
I
run it
didn't
through
know
the
this.
garden.
Is this
And the toasting of the peppers, that goes without saying. The certification for sandwich artists has gone way downhill. Way downhill.
So
Get
it's
your
just like
standards
In
up,
and Out, where
Subway.
there's a secret menu you have to order a certain way, like jungle style and all that kind of
Right.
stuff. You have to say, run it through the garden.
Run
Yeah.
it through the
Subway?
garden.
Yeah, you don't have to, but I mean, if you know what you're doing.
You don't have to, but the sandwich artist kind of looks at you and nods and winks and, let you get an extra cookie or whatever, when you check out. Like I said, it depends on their level of certification of sandwich artistry.
So I have this sandwich and they give you that flimsy Subway bag and they stuff way too many napkins in it. And so I'm walking back to the bus station and it's just 2 blocks away, right around the corner. And I have the sandwich in my hand and it's kind of doing its dangly sandwich thing. And I have my phone wallet in my other hand. And I'll be honest, I am not the tallest of men. I'm a solid 5'5". And I'm crossing this gentleman who looks to be a good 6'5", pretty tall, lanky guy. I could look, he was a little rough around the edges, to say the least. And as we're passing each other, he lifts up his arm to punch me in the face. And this, like, I felt his knuckles on my nose. And so I reach up and I block his punch with my arm, and I deflect it. And I kind of like do it as an outward swinging motion. But I did it with the hand with the sandwich in it. And so as I'm deflecting his punch, the Black Forest ham comes full swing and slaps this dude in the face.
This reminds me, this is how if like a Jackie Chan movie took place in a subway, like, and people came in to rob it. The first thing Jackie Chan would do is like frisbee tomatoes, like right at their eyes, like, and then he would grab 2 sandwich bags and use them as nunchucks, as you did.
We both just kept walking after that.
What?
Like,
wait.
What do you say after
You
that?
smacked a man in the face with a sandwich
and walked away? At 6 a.m. in downtown Cleveland, you do not walk away. You run away.
Right. No. That guy is so humiliated. You know the only thing less dignified than getting slapped open-handed in the face? You know? There's 2 things. I'm going to rank them right now. One is when someone slowly pulls a white glove off, finger by finger, dusts it off, and slaps you in the face with it. As you know, that's... you're stripped of all dignity. The only thing other less dignified is to be getting slapped in the face by a hot Subway sandwich. There's no coming back. For it.
That's crazy. Okay, so why were you interrogated by police while wearing a shaving cream beard and hairstyle?
So I, right out of high school, so I was about 18, 19, I was a junior high youth pastor for my local church. And I could stop there, and that would make complete sense.
Yep.
But I remember we rented these cabins at this park, and we were doing all these different events and games and things like that. And it was late at night. It was like 11 o'clock. And we have like these floodlights going on into this like little field next to our cabins. And next thing I know is we see police sirens pulling up to the cabins. And I'm like, oh no, like one of the kids did something, you know? And what happened was they came up to us and they were like, so who's in charge here? And we were in the middle of one of those games where the students could dress their leaders up in like all shaving cream. And so I have like a trash bag on me as like a coat, and then a full shaving cream beard and hairdo. And I have to like stand up and go to this guy and be like, sir, I'm in charge. And I kid you not. He looks me in the eye and he says, no, really? I was going to say, no, sir, I promise I'm really in charge. And then apparently there was a curfew that like I signed a paper and said, we will not be loud after like 10 o'clock. And it's one of those things like the terms and conditions that I just clicked apply and moved on.
Oh, that's why the cops were called?
You guys are too loud.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, shaving cream does that.
You didn't get the old Subway assault charge. You dodged that.
All right, and lastly, you were fired
with a deadly sandwich. Yeah,
you were fired from your first job at age 16 for stealing donuts, but praised because you offered them to your coworkers. Where were you working? Was it a donut shop? Because if not,
no, it was actually a small little grocery store in Ohio. It's a little chain called Bueller's. Mm-hmm. We had this customer who returned some donuts through the checkout. And so, but I saw this box of donuts and I just had a moment where I realized, I could not take this back to the donut shop and I could just put it in the break room. And so I took it up to the break room and I kind of like put it on top of the refrigerator, like in the back so nobody could see it. And then break time comes, and I go to the workroom, and I sit down and next to one of my coworkers who's also in the break room, and he's like, "Oh man, like a donut would be really great right now." And I'm like, and I open up the box and I say, "Would you like one?" And another one of my coworkers came in, and so there's like 2 or 3 of our coworkers just snacking on these donuts. Then, and the next day, I get called into the back office, and
you did.
They had footage of me doing that, and like footage of me like getting on the stool and putting the donuts up, on top of the refrigerator and like not paying for it.
Crime. Yeah,
and the guy was pointing at the screen, and he's like, "So this is you stealing the donuts." And then
you're
we
like
walked the
manager.
whole thing.
I've never seen that person before.
And then you slapped him in the face with a ham sandwich and you ran out of there.
This makes me question: how much meat did you steal from Subway while you were?
So it was quite an incident because they praised me for like, well, at least you're not selfish and stingy, and you're a hard worker, but we still have to fire you. You know, it's policy.
Real quick, Zach. What have you stolen from your current employer?
Easy. That one's money that's supposed to go to churches in the development. That's easy. This brings up a good question real quick before we let Zach go. What are your guys' feeling? Because I was at the grocery store the other day and someone was eating while they're shopping a bag of grapes. And then I saw another person like open like a box of granola bars that was in their cart, but was eating one of the granola bars. And I was so impressed, like, of the swag of those individuals to be eating the bag of grapes. How do we feel about this? Are we okay if you're going to pay for it?
I don't understand the grazing mentality in the produce section where it's like, I'm going to go and just eat some, especially the fruit that's weighed by the pound. I'm going to have a bunch of grapes and then I'm going to eat half of it and then they're going to go weigh it at checkout.
Yeah.
You just stole. But then they're all like, but I'm just trying the stuff that's expected that's okay. And I'm like, how?
I don't understand that. And I did have a friend that growing up, she thought that as long as you ate it before you got to checkout, it was free.
That's insane.
And so like she'd just be like walking through the store. She believed this like until her like 20s.
Wow.
Until somebody was with her and was like, yo, what are you doing?
That's not a thing.
No.
It's not a buffet. You just got to keep circling the store.
Yeah, well, we learned a lot about Zach today.
All right. Well, thanks for being our listener of the week, Zach Summers. If you want to be our listener of the week next week, hit us up on Twitter and tell us what you've stolen from your employers.
Yeah. Confess a crime. Call us and tell us what crime you want to get off your chest.
Confess a crime that you used to do and still kind of do.
A little bit.
Hit us up on Twitter.
I want to have one listener. Can we do this? Can we just call it out? One listener of the week where you have to, there's not 3 facts, it's you have to call and confess a crime. Obviously, we're not talking murder here. I mean, if so, talk coded words. Right. Otherwise, I want to have a true crime listener of the week. Okay. We already had someone confess a hit and run, you know?
That's true. That is true.
Now we have a donut theft. Zach, you're going to sleep well tonight, my friend. I feel like you've gotten a lot off your chest. The statute of limitations has probably passed on the donut thing. I feel like you're for the first night in years, you're going to sleep through the night, not waking up in a cold sweat thinking about your donut crime.
That's funny. All right. Thanks for joining us, Zach.
Hey, thanks, Cameron. Thanks, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Well, many thanks to Casper for making this episode possible. Remember, you can get $50 towards select mattresses by visiting casper.com/RM and using RM at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. And thanks also to Blue Apron. Remember, you can check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals for free at blueapron.com/relevant. And thanks also to Jo Saxton for joining us. Her new book, The Dream of You, is out now. You can follow her on Twitter at Jo Saxton. Hey, the new issue of Relevant is out now. Leon Bridges is on the cover. If you missed Wednesday's episode of the podcast, we ran part of the interview with Leon. Go check out that episode and check out the cover story. It's available now, newsstands nationwide, and you can view the entire issue for free at relevantmagazine.com. Go check it out. On that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Andre Henry.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Annie F. Downs.
We'll see you next week.
Doesn't matter. Does it? If I know and the exit, if I believe in God and if God does exist, if I believe in God and if God does exist, and if I'm cast out because I wanted some more, and if this guy does this.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Call us and tell us what crime you want to get off your chest.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.